Welcome back, everyone. Today we're diving into Only Murders in the Building, Season 5, Episode 2, titled After You. This episode is unique because it shifts the spotlight to someone who has always been in the background. Lester, the Arconia's longtime doorman. By telling his life story, the show gives us not only an emotional portrait, but also critical clues about the larger mystery at play this season. Let's walk through the episode step by step like a story and then unpack what that ending really means. The episode is framed almost like a documentary. We hear interviews with New York doormen, including Lester himself, reflecting on what it means to serve, to know a building's residents, and to become part of their lives, while often remaining invisible. It's sentimental but also haunting, because we know Lester has recently died, and everything we see is leading us closer to the truth of how it happened. Flashbacks take us back to a young Lester on his very first day at the Arconia. He's mentored by George, the former doorman, who teaches him the golden rule of service: always say after you. It's more than politeness, it's a philosophy of putting others first. We see Lester learning the small details of the job, holding doors in the rain, knowing Bunny's moods, remembering which tenants want privacy and which crave conversation. At the same time, we learn Lester had bigger dreams. He wanted to be an actor. He auditioned, took small gigs, but every time opportunity knocked, responsibility pulled him back to the Arconia. The story also brings us into Lester's personal life. He meets Lorraine, whom he calls Rain, and falls deeply in love. They marry, they have a daughter, and for a while, it seems like Lester could balance work, love, and his acting dreams. But slowly, the demands of the Arconia consume him. He misses anniversaries, skips auditions, and even his marriage begins to suffer. We feel the tragedy of a man who sacrificed his own dreams to keep the building running, to serve people who often never truly saw him. Then the story takes a darker turn. As George prepares to retire, he introduces Lester to Nicky Cacamillo, a powerful figure with ties to organized crime. Nicky offers Lester an envelope of cash and makes it clear that there will be special deliveries and visitors who must be allowed into the Arconia through secret entrances, no questions asked. It's not exactly a choice, it's a demand. Lester agrees, reluctantly, and from then on he becomes not just a doorman, but also a silent gatekeeper of the Arconia's shadier dealings. This is when we learn about Lester's hidden ledger, the book where he records everything, using bird nicknames as codes for the residents and their visitors. What looks like just quirky notes is actually evidence of years of strange comings and goings, envelopes and secrets tucked into the building's walls. And that ledger, as we know from episode 1, is now in Charles, Oliver, and Mabel's hands. We also see Lester in the role of mentor. He trains Randall, a new doorman, but warns him sternly to stay away from the more dangerous parts of the Arconia's shadow life. He even tells Randall never to deal with the man with the white Gardonia, a mysterious clue that hangs heavy. It shows us Lester wasn't naive. He knew he was entangled in something dark, and he didn't want the next generation to suffer the same fate. Throughout the flashbacks, the show also weaves Lester into moments we recognize, helping a young Mabel, opening doors for Oliver during his struggling years, watching Charles in his highs and lows as an actor. It reminds us that while Lester was never the star of the story, he was always there, always part of the tapestry of the Arconia. Then comes the present-day sequence that breaks our hearts. We see Lester late at night, walking through the courtyard. He drops his old elevator crank, a relic he's carried for years as a symbol of his service. He bends to pick it up, but he stumbles, hits his head, and falls into the fountain. At first glance, it could look like a tragic accident, but then we see something chilling, a gloved hand picking up the crank. That detail changes everything. Lester didn't just slip. Someone was there watching, and likely ensuring he wouldn't survive. The police brush it off as an accident, but we, the audience, and of course Charles, Oliver, and Mabel, know better. Lester's life was cut short because he knew too much. The ledger, the secret entrances, the deals with Nicky, all of it made him a liability. His death wasn't bad luck, it was a silencing. So what does the ending mean? First, Lester isn't just collateral damage. He's a victim in a much bigger conspiracy. His ledger is now one of the most important pieces of evidence, and whoever killed him is desperate to cover up what's inside. Second, the gloved hand at the fountain shows us there's an active killer still lurking in the building, someone watching from the shadows. And third, by focusing this episode on Lester's life, the show reminds us that the Arconia is full of unsung characters whose stories matter and whose secrets may be deadly. Episode 2 ends on a heavy note. Lester's legacy is one of loyalty, sacrifice, and service, but also entrapment in a world of secrets. For Charles, Mabel, and Oliver, his death is not just tragic, it's a call to action. Someone in the building is pulling strings, and unless they uncover the truth, more lives could be lost. That's the full story of Episode 2, told through Lester's eyes, and the heartbreaking ending explained. What do you think? Who was the figure with the gloves? Was it Nikki's people, or someone connected to the mysterious white gardenia clue? Drop your theories in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more breakdowns of Only Murders in the Building, Season 5.